What's cracklin', everybody? Welcome back once again to the definitive cereal tier list. For each episode, we take a cereal, put it on the tier list, so you know how good it is. I'm your host, Tucker, and this episode we're doing our first chocolate Malt O Meal cereal with Coco Roos, their version of Cocoa Puffs. Now again, this is going to be a situation where the A-ranked Cocoa Puffs is turned into a Malt O Meal cereal, so seems unlikely that'll hit that A, as is tradition seemingly with Malt O Meal. C seems like a good guess for where this will be, but hopefully they can do something good with their chocolatey flavor and find a way to knock it up a bit, but they're going to have to beat Hershey's Kisses, which is also a C and kind of a Cocoa Puffs cereal, to really prove their worth. Let's just open this bag up. Okay. Sort of reminds me of, Cocoa Puffs. It's a little harsher. I don't know if that's the right word. But yeah, it's not quite a sweet chocolate scent, if that makes sense. I don't remember if it was this one or their other main chocolatey cereal, but one of those I actually had somewhat frequently as a child, so we'll see if this brings back any memories. But there's no kangaroo on this anymore, which is a bummer, because roos, that makes sense. I think they were on non-roo ones too. This seems like the biggest miss for not having the kangaroo anymore. Getting close. Okay. Here we go. Okay. It's actually closer to the Oreos chocolate than a lot of the other ones we've had. Kind of the texture part of the flavor. I mean, obviously two different things, texture, flavor. But the texturiness, it's like that part is kind of similar to a Cocoa Puff. Taste-wise, not exactly. They have an all-right crunch to them. Not quite, obviously, as good as Cocoa Puffs would, but once you get to the middle of the piece, all that crunch completely gone, which, is kind of reminiscent of a lot of the other just ball-shaped cereals, because, just how they're structured internally. But it feels a little more noticeable here. All right, we've got some chocolate milk brewing in here now, so let's see how that tastes. Okay, not really too bad there. Not standout either, though. Yeah. It's all right. I think the chocolate there is more in line with the chocolate taste of Cocoa Puffs than the pieces. Still a little off, obviously, but at least closer. I can see why the kangaroo left now. This was a little disappointing. So this is the most off the Malt O Meal cereals have been since the first one we did, Honey Nut Scooters, which is a little surprising because I feel like it's a pretty straightforward concept to try to replicate here. They just couldn't nail it. The texture, again, kind of off, close-ish, but seems to be tradition for these last couple. Loses a bit of the crunch the original had. But then on top of that, the chocolate taste is very much a departure from what Cocoa Puffs is, and as I mentioned, reminds me much more of Oreo O's than Cocoa Puffs. So it was pretty unfortunate because Oreo O's is a lower ranked cereal. And comparing it against the Hershey's Kisses that we recently did, which was also sort of a Cocoa Puffs knockoff, I prefer the Hershey's Kisses over this. So that makes it, an interesting comparison of trying to replicate this A-ranked cereal. And can't quite get it right, but I'd put this for sure below the Hershey's Kisses. And with respect to the Oreo O's, there's the two versions, the Oreo O's and the Mega Stuffed. I'm ignoring the Korean red ones because that's a different flavor. But I think I might kind of like the Mega Stuffed Oreo O's a bit more than this because the marshmallows and the milk at least ends up that sort of cookies and cream taste, and that's, I think, a little more unique, and I think I just like that a bit more than sort of this attempted knockoff that Coco Roos has done. So I think that means I'm going to give Coco Roos a D, which is weirdly low. As I mentioned, just the Oreos I think is the only other chocolate that is this low, because chocolate cereals usually pretty good. But it's just comparing it to those two Oreo O's and to the Hershey's Kisses, it just doesn't quite measure up to the C-level chocolate that's kind of been established at this point. The only real bright side to this is that the Malt O Meal cereal didn't get a C, so at least it's breaking the trend a bit, just not the direction I had hoped for. If you enjoyed this video, be sure to like and subscribe, and in the comments below, post your general thoughts. Let me know if you've had Coco Roos, or if you had them back when the kangaroo was a thing. Maybe they were different back then, and that's why the kangaroo left, because they realized not very good anymore. If you think I'm completely off base here and these should be more in line with the Hershey's Kisses, or for some reason think these are better than those, feel free to let me know. We can discuss that. Hopefully the other chocolate cereal that we'll get to in a little while is an improvement and closer to what they're trying to knock off, because it's kind of let down. Still gonna end up probably eating this because it's chocolate cereal. Even if it's not great, it's sometimes you just kind of get in that mood. This is the most disappointed I've been in one of the Malt O Meals so far, so it's fun energy. But until next time, stay delicious.